First greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. My name is Viktor Fursov and this is the channel Viktor Fursov, entomologist, beekeeper Ukraine. If you're interested to know some news from the center of Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, this video will be especially for you. And if you want to know what people are thinking about present time in Ukraine, this video will be especially for you. And if you're thinking what people are thinking about the previous time of the former USSR, this video will be especially for you. Why? Because I'm standing just in front of the basement of a monument devoted to the great political leader of the Soviet time, Volodimir Lenin. Yes, the greatest communist of all time in the world. So Volodimir Lenin, but where is he? He is not here. He was destroyed 2 years ago, right? And now you can see only the basement here. Basement colorated, painted in Ukrainian colors in blue and yellow. So now you can recognize that this monument was destroyed, and actually this is a symbol. It was a symbol of communism, symbol of socialism, Volodymyr Lenin, and now this is probably the symbol of destruction of totalitarianism. Well, if you can recognize it like that. But who knows, people do not understand sometimes what's going on around, and people do not understand why some monuments need to be destroyed. Probably this is useful for some people, and it's very much surprising and unusual for other people. Maybe in other cultures, in other civilizations, in other countries, monuments were just existing for centuries, but in some hot spots of history, in hot spots in some countries, monuments were just symbols of something unusual, something unpleasant, and they should be destroyed. And that's why, for instance, in the former USSR, many monuments of a great political leader, Stalin, were destroyed after 60s, after changes in political system in the former USSR. But nevertheless, in some places there are monuments of Stalin as well, and they're existing now and probably were built and renewed somewhere. But nevertheless, you see some buildings, some monuments were changed. And I will be walking along here, along this boulevard of Taras Shevchenko. This is boulevard name in the honor of a great Ukrainian poet, Taras Shevchenko. So there are here some poplars. This is actually today +10, warm, so easy to go along the street, and by this still it's going to be rain. And I want to tell you just a few words as I promised about the former USSR. Well, what was bad time, good time in the former USSR, when this monument with Volodymyr Lenin was a greatest symbol. Yes, there were some positive and some negative things in the former USSR. Positive things, well, you will say, should they be? Right, many people were saying that in the former USSR all prices were very cheap, so this was a great positive thing. But the negative thing was that salary was very cheap as well. But nevertheless, the positive stuff was that the people were using their cheap salary and cheap prices, and they were living not pretty well, but with a decent salary well. Because the second advantage that people had in the Soviet time, people had some flats. They were able to build this flat, or they were able to receive this flat from, you will be surprised, from the government, because state in the former USSR was the most important owner of everything. That's why people in governmental offices, they received these apartments like that here for free. But now, for instance, here, this is a very prestigious hotel, prestigious palace, prestige hotel, Premier Palace Hotel. Now this is a private hotel, because now this is not a communist time, now this is a capitalism time. That's why most of hotels became private property of very rich people. And some people now very rich, and others were going to be poor. So this is next negative thing which did not exist in the Soviet Union people were not so much separated for poor and for rich. Okay, some elite, some nomenclature lived better in the former USSR, but still they were not so extremely rich as now. And by the way, and this time not everything was able to buy for money, because what I wanted to say, how it was not possible to buy everything for money. Yes, because some stuff could be bought for money, but some stuff you're not able to buy for money because government would give to it, or just for person, some kind of permission. But at the present time, everything could be bought for money. Everything. This is not surprising. Everything could be bought for money because this is a capitalism. Even the pride and honor can be bought for money. Yeah, because the time there was ideology of communism and the ideology of Lenin, but at the present time there is no ideology. You will be surprised, but now at the present time is the capitalist time. The main ideology, this is ideology of money, so this is ideology of capitalism. And this idea is just growing, and majority of people, they have just only one very important, very important destination to earn the money. They earn money because this is only the idea how to earn money. But for others, that's not possible. That's not possible because people are very limited in their resources, people are very limited in their opportunities, so they could not buy everything, they could not buy even food for their very cheap salaries now in capitalism time. Of course, you know, maybe from economical books that peculiarity of capitalism is to pay for workers cheap price. Cheap price? What means cheap price and why? Because in some countries, in capitalist countries, salaries are very high. Well, that's a very good idea. But nevertheless, if you remember, that capitalism is developing for centuries already. And in some countries, capitalism developed for several centuries, by the way. So, but in the beginning of the capitalism, the salaries were very cheap. So now, there is in the former USSR, there is just very wild type of capitalism. Wild type, that's meaning very cheap salary. This is a peculiarity of the first stage of capitalism, when people, workers, must receive, and they are receiving only very cheap salary. But some others, owners, they can buy this type of cars, very expensive, they can enjoy themselves. So you can see how do they live all around. Yes. And here I'm just walking along Taras Shevchenko Boulevard, and here this is a building which actually a very interesting place, because this is a museum devoted to Taras Shevchenko, great Ukrainian poet Taras Shevchenko. This is a very special sculpture, very interesting, and of course there are a lot of things to see inside if you're coming inside this building. And by the way, here several places devoted to Taras Shevchenko, because this is Boulevard Taras Shevchenko. There is a park Taras Shevchenko, and a big monument devoted to Taras Shevchenko as well. Over there, I will show you. So, over there. So welcome to this place, and we'll see you some other places and some other interesting things over there in Taras Shevchenko Park, near University, near the red building of Taras Shevchenko University. So thank you for watching. I hope something was interesting, surprising, unusual for you, and I hope so you will subscribe to on my channel, or press likes, or write your comments. and you will see more interesting, maybe surprising, unusual stories from Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. Good luck and see you soon, and ask your questions. I'm Viktor Fursov, and this is the channel Viktor Fursov Entomologist with Ukraine. I hope something was interesting for you. So welcome to Ukraine, welcome to Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. Bye bye.